Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more Monster Train. I'm going to be starting up a backlog, so by the time you see this, this will actually be me from yesterday. We're going to go ahead and start up a new run. Now, you'll notice that the EXP is a little bit off. That's because I did cheat a little bit. I tried to play some runs off screen. Don't worry though, they did not get anywhere. We're going to be starting off with the Stygian and Hellhorned. We're going to try and beat rank 3. So, this isn't going to be my first time doing Stygian and Hellhorned. As a result, you may notice that I have a little more experience in doing this. We start off with Helical Crystals, Titan's Tooth, and 2 Welder Helpers. That's actually pretty useful for us. We have ourselves Precious Plating, and Iron Drop Cage. Since we're playing the Stygian Guard, our Pyre is going to take a little more damage than usual, so we're going to go ahead and take that extra Pyre health. Ooh, this is interesting. I've never gotten Chillwind Tethys Titan's Bane, so I'm curious as to how it's working. Be patient, lady. I'm curious as to how it's going to work out. Strike, apply Frostbite 10 to the attacked unit. Though I think, because we have Helical Crystals and Titan's Tooth, that is definitely the better option. We always want to turn on the challenge for the first unit. For the first wave. So we want to start off with Tethys Titan's Bane. Then use Helical Crystals to take care of that guy. Put down a Train Steward as the tank. Use a Frozen Lance. And put down a Queen's Impling to take care of all of the enemies. Alright. So my thought process right now is that we do want to use Titan's Tooth on this floor. But we also want to get this guy. I don't want to spend a Queen's Impling quite yet, just to take care of one little guy. So I'm going to put a Train Steward down at the top. I'm going to use Titan's Tooth down here, using the -1 Ember cost. We have a brief respite in play. This guy's going to take 9 damage. If we add 11 to that, that will be 20. Yes. So we can get a kill here by putting down a Train Steward and using Frozen Lance. Now, we're going to place down Welder Helper here. Now with this out in play, the answer is quite obvious. Those were the only spells we could use, but they were still pretty good for us. Okay. So now we have a choice between Crypt Builder and Offering Token. Obviously, we would plan on using Offering Token in conjunction with Titan's Tooth to use it for free. If we just take Crypt Builder as a default, it's still a pretty good spell. Because if we use it on the bottom floor, it's going to be 2 cost for 60 damage. So we're going to take that. as usual, we want to get imps out here. So last time we tried setting up 2 different floors. One to apply spell weakness, and then one as a sort of spell casting floor. But that did not really work out as I expected it to. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to make the bottom floor our spell casting floor. Now, as I've learned from a couple of runs, I know that upgrading your spells is important. And we already have an incant trigger. There's not much we can get from the Stygian units, besides maybe a Mollusk Mage, but gambling on that, I would rather just upgrade the spells that I have already. We can upgrade a spell to gain double stack and cost +1. My idea is that we do that and then combine it with an Emberstone to keep it at the same price. What double stack will do is it'll double the amount of frostbite that Titan's Tooth gives. Which means it'll apply frostbite 20 on whichever floor we use it on to all enemy units. That is a very good card to have. Now, we're going to reroll. Actually, I think we're going to be thankful for what we have, and instead apply a Power Stone to some helical crystals. Then reroll. Interesting. So we can either purge a card, or upgrade a spell with +10 magic power. Odds are pretty good that we come across a vent or a vortex that allows us to purge more cards in the future. I think giving ourselves good spells for now is more important. Non-boss enemy units get +4 attack. With how frail our units are, I don't think that's the right move. There's no need to use a Queen's Impling quite yet. Now that we're here, let's use a Molting Imp to take care of the enemy in the back. Let's put down a Train Steward. Now the question here is, do we want to use our Welder Helper right away and just apply 20 armor? I think we want to keep this one slot open for a potential Queen's Impling. Get ourselves a brief respite. So we are just going to use the Crypt build, or Crypt Breaker there. And then we can also do this to gain an extra incant. Let's cast our spells first, and then see how much damage we're doing. 30 damage. Put down a Queen's Impling. We only have 2 cards to play, so our options are as follows. And now we can kill him with a Crypt Builder. Interesting. We definitely want a Mollusk Mage. Hornbreak is a pretty good spell for us. I made the mistake of going too fast last time and ignoring the Hellhorn spells. But as you can see, it is a spell, so it gets boosted by all the Stygian Guard things. Additionally, with Hornbreak being piercing, and it dealing damage twice, it gets an even bigger boost from the magic power. Now let's see what options we have. We have Hellvent, which can duplicate any card except my champion. We have a Stygian Banner, and then the Concealed Caverns are for both routes. I think getting this path will lead to a much bigger impact. We're gonna go with Cold Celia as just a strong unit that we can put on the second floor. Now we have the opportunity to duplicate any of our cards. Putting a Mollusk Mage on the second floor would be quite interesting, as just a way so that when enemies move up to the second floor, we don't have to worry about doing less damage. However, something I'm also thinking of is duplicating these helical crystals. Because if we duplicate these helical crystals, it's just a really good attack. I think in the present moment, our biggest problem is not having enough reliable spells that deal damage. Well, either way, we're just going to be looking for more damage. The question is, yes. So, I think having another Mollusk Mage is the answer. We can take a Rail Spike here. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna do something really cool. We're gonna enhance this Train Steward, because we're gonna purge Train Stewards anyways. So that enhancement just basically makes this a kamikaze Train Steward. We are going... Well, let's see here first. this out there. Put this out there. And then we're going to put a welder helper in the back. And then we're going to use Hornbreak on this guy. We're going to put the ooh. All of our guys are dying. Think this one through. In order to keep all of these guys alive, we need to play this Molting Imp. It's unfortunate, but it is what must be done. So, we're going to put this Mollusk Mage on the second floor. And we're going to play the Train Steward so it gets purged from our deck. So what we can do now is we can actually stack Mollusk Mages here as a way to deal very, very nice spellcasting damage. We don't need to cast a spell on the second floor. We're gonna save this for a Welder Helper Imp on the off chance that we need it. If we put a Train Steward down, he's just going to get exploded, so there's no point in doing that. We definitely want to use Crypt Builder. It's a builder, not a breaker. So that means the Siren of the Sea gets to live for one more turn. So now we can put a Train Steward up here. Now, we are going all in on this turn. So we just use our spells like this and like that. We're going to put a Welder Helper up here. Then we're going to put Cold Celia up here. Now, we want to do this, then do this. Interesting. So it's at 17 health. Or we're going to be doing 17. This will make it, these two both do the same amount of damage. So our pirate is going to take one hit. I will happily take an Imbelate. I'm going to take the Horned Warrior. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Light of Seraph, so we still have room on each of our 2 planned floors for an Imp. So we have the option here of going for an Unstable Vortex and a Hellhorned unit. Now, the potential Hellhorned units that we can get would primarily fill up our top floor. We can also forge our units to gain new powers, or we can keep going down the path of upgrading our spells. The real question we're asking here is it worth the Unstable Vortex to not have the opportunity to upgrade our spells? Oh, we can look further down the map. That is incredibly useful. Alright, so now that we're here... Alright, I know for a fact that next time we're going to get a Merchant of Magic, an Artifact, and an Unstable Vortex. So we don't have to worry about upgrading our magic quite yet. We could use the gold. If we do want to save gold, that's an option. We don't have to go forward with upgrading our units if we don't want to. We are going to buy 1 Heartstone and give it to the Horned Warrior. And that's all we're gonna do. So we can Branded Warrior, slay, apply Rage 3 to friendly units. I don't think either of these units... Well... I'm going to take a Horned Warrior, just as something to put at the top, because we have run out of Train Stewards. If we have damage spells cost -2, that makes our first floor incredible for magic. We do not want Spell Shield 2, even though that would give us a lot of gold. That was a pretty good turn. One turn at a time. So now we can use Impalate here to get a free kill. And Crypt Builder. And now we do want to put our Horned Warrior up here. We'll put down a Mollusk Mage right here. Then we're gonna do that. That is the best we can do. We have a brief respite incoming, so we can put down an imp there. And we'll go ahead and just use these attacks to get some incant triggers. Now let's see what we're working with. So we have to use a spell to get rid of this guy. If we want to do Impalate or Crypt Builder onto this guy, we need to use one of the two to take care of the front unit first. So the Impalate deals 90 plus 10, so that's 100, and the Crypt Builder deals 110. So we want to use the Impalate first, then the Crypt Builder, and the Frozen Lance, and we should be all good to kill this guy on the next turn. Perfect. We have Preserve. Apply Frozen to a card in your hand. This will be useful. Ice Pyre is Pyre-bound, so it can only be played in the Pyre room and the floor below it. I don't think that's worth it. A lot of our enemies aren't even getting up to the Pyre room. So Preserve is going to be much more useful. Important Work is going to allow us to play units and be able, or play imps and be able to sacrifice them. Improved Firebox. Gains 7 energy. Yes, we don't have any specific discard decks. Or discard cards. So now we're going to remove one Train Steward. And one Queen's Impling. Now we get to upgrade our spells. Upgrade a spell to remove Consume and cost +1. That would be really interesting if we had a card with Consume. Now, would there be any cards that we really want to purge? I guess we could get rid of an Imp. Or a Frozen Lance. You know, we might be at the point that we want to get rid of Frozen Lances. First, we would like to do this. Additionally, oh, purging an Imp. Probably not a good idea when we're using Impalate, huh? Let's go ahead and re-roll. Making Crypt Builder even less mana. That'll make it a 0 cost attack on the bottom floor. So now what we can do is we can just make a buff Frozen Lance. And then get rid of the 2 normal ones. So now this makes it so that our primary way of dealing damage is going to be through these spells like Titan's Tooth, Helical Crystals, and Crypt Builder. And Hornbreak, of course. Can't forget that. In the future, we're going to be looking for damage dealing spells. The Aggressive Amulet. Non-boss enemy units get +6. We can gain 150 gold if we go through with that. But again, our units are too squishy for us to risk doing that. We're going to keep proceeding forward with our normal setup. We like having a mollusk out here. It would be an interesting idea to put 2 mollusks out here. You know what? Why not? We have all the time in the world to experiment. Our Siren of the Sea is important for both bulk and attack, on the other hand. The odds are so good that enemies move up to the next floor that I think doing this is the right play. And then we'll just put an imp down. I'm not sure what diabolical automation means. Alright, very good. Our Mollusk Mage has died. That is very unfortunate. The Helical Crystals is 0 for 70. This is 0 for 75. So we want to freeze that, use Helical Crystals, so then both of these guys are dying. And then we also want to use this so we can consume. But I think we want to save that for when the boss comes. We get ourselves a brief respite. We should put down a welder helper. We can sacrifice this imp to get another draw. It's the same Frozen Lance from before. These two are gonna... Well, we want to hold on to this, but we can use this to get another incant trigger. Now we have ourselves the final wave. It has stealth 8, so it's not a target in combat for 8 turns. We're very lucky that we're using spells in this. I'm not sure what I'd do if I was the Hellhorned or something like that. So we obviously want to use Impalate. Interesting. So we can preserve a card. I think what we're going to do is we're going to preserve these helical crystals. Then use the Crypt Breaker down here. Additionally, we're going to put a Horned Warrior and a Welder Helper here. It may seem like that's kind of sabotaging, but since we held on to these helical crystals, we now get to use it with the boosted magic power of the Mollusk Mage. We can preserve the Titan's Tooth if we so wish, but without the energy decrease, I don't think it's worth it. On the other hand, if we use it, then every turn in the Pyre Room, it will take damage. So let's go ahead and do some math here. I know a lot of people aren't too fond of math. So if we do 70 damage like this, it'll get knocked down to 137. It's already taken 1 from Frostbite, so that's 136. Then with 75, it would be 206. I think that would kill exactly. I'm a fool. I did the math wrong. But that is a-okay. We have unlocked a new clan. Umbra. Commune with the ancient Umbra Shroud. The original residents of Hell mine the Crucible for precious materials to help in the fight against Seraph. That's a very interesting story. Incant. Apply armor 1 to friendly units. We can put that on the bottom floor along with our Mollusk Mage. Though we need to be careful about stacking too many minions and not enough spells. We need to remember, we want spells. Though that Pyre Chomper is looking tempting. This Branding Rite is pretty useless, huh? However, the Inflame, I think we'll skip this time. We don't need another card in our deck that doesn't do damage. Are there any other spells that we would like to upgrade? We still have more to do with Crypt Builder, and Hornbreaker, and Impalate. The possibility of getting some dupes really interests me. But also the idea of... we don't really have any cards we want to purge. The only benefit would be upgrading some spells and getting an artifact. Hold on, I'll be right back. Upgrading our units would be pretty interesting. that the artifact tempts me so much. What would we purge if given the choice? I don't think we would purge anything. We would basically just be praying for a good artifact and looking for good upgrades to our spells. The Concealed Caverns has a lot more potential upside. I think we're going to go down this path. Hello. A cave of 1,000 eyes seems to awaken as you grow near. From deep within, a voice emerges. Relinquish your life or your wealth, and you may be rewarded if you are deemed worthy. You don't often make offerings to unknown beasts, but you consider making an exception for this cave. Do you toss in your tribute? Yes. Your worth has yet to be determined. Only further tribute will sway us further. We continue to question your worth. Units get an extra upgrade slot. We've deemed you worthy. We're now going to face off against Fel, the Wings of Light. Alabaster Guardians have Spell Shield 5. Fel empowers them with armor. This is going to be a rough one for us. So we want to do that. Interesting. Still dying. Probably should have used the Welder Helper in that case. Titan's Tooth down here. And then we'll put down a Queen's Imp Lane. It's quite unfortunate, but none of these damaging spells are going to do anything to these Alabaster Guardians. So we can put down a Welder Helper. That will make it live longer. This guy's going to come up with his... I don't think there's anything we can do about it, just because all of our spells deal damage to the front unit. Don't want to consume that quite yet. That was a bad idea. I just gave him some extra armor. Alright, we got our Welder Helper back just in time. So now Cold Celia is still living. And that's going to kill that Alabaster Guardian, which is very useful for us. Now we can strictly concentrate on just killing the enemies on this floor. This guy's taking 72. This is dealing 90, this is dealing 85. Neither one of these are going to be a one-shot kill. We could decide to use our Frozen Lance here so we can land some helical crystals onto Wings of Light. I will do that. Doesn't seem like we have anything really left to do here except try and nail away at that damage shield. Or rather at that spell shield. Alright, so now our options are very clear. First, let us sacrifice you. We get another spell. We're going to use Titan's Tooth. Impalate. Crypt Builder, Hornbreaker. We're going to preserve the Ice Empire. And now we win. Getting another Impalate at +5 magic power to spells in hand. That seems interesting, but having another Impalate is much more useful. I think getting Herzl's Compound here is actually more useful than any of the other ones. I've never taken that one before. Alright. So let's think this through real quick. If we were to duplicate a card, which one would we choose to duplicate? We would probably duplicate the helical crystals that we have. We would get another helical crystals. That would be pretty useful. If we were to purge 2 cards from our deck, I don't think we would want to do that. So now we're evaluating, do we want to restore Pyre Health, Concealed Caverns, duplicate helical crystals, or potentially get a random selection of artifacts? Now that I have thought it through, the left path seems very obviously better. The train stops near some familiar crystals. The Covenant Memorial in the middle is reflected twice by the crystals surrounding it, one larger, one smaller. In front of each, there are markings for a creature to stand and receive the remaining energy. Ooh. So we can make one of our units only 1 capacity. If we do that, we could stack 2 Mollusk Mages at the bottom. Well, hold on. Let's actually think this through. So far, what our bottom floor looks like is Titan's Bane, which is 1 capacity, a Horned Warrior, which is 3 capacity, a Mollusk Mage, which makes it 4 capacity, and Siren of the Sea, which makes it 6 capacity. If we were to make the Siren of the Sea, for example, 1 capacity and put a Mollusk Mage at the bottom, put a Mollusk Mage at the bottom, we would do some extra damage. On the other hand, if we were to upgrade a unit with +2, so on the 2nd floor, right now, keep in mind we have 6 capacity per floor. So, we have Cold Celia on the 2nd floor. And we also have a Horned Warrior. We've just been keeping room for imps. I'm going to get the large one. And because Cold Celia has sweep... Ooh. On the other hand, this multi-strike will do a lot of damage. I think we're going to upgrade the Horned Warrior. There is a blinding flash and ear-splitting roar. Where your ally once was, now stands a behemoth. As you depart, the train lurches under the creature's newfound weight. And then we are going to duplicate... By the way, hold on a second. So the 2nd floor is going to be at max capacity. So if we say replaced this Horned Warrior with 2 Mollusk Mages, we wouldn't have enough health to protect our champion. So yes, We are just going to upgrade the helical crystals. Is there any purpose to making damage spells only cost -3? It would make Titan's Tooth 0, but other than that, no, there is no point. That would give us 400 gold, dude. Gets +8. And this guy has sweep, though. Yeah. We cannot do that. Hello, big horned warrior. We can't do anything with Ice and Pyre. We don't need the magic power quite yet. And we have 2 mollusk mages. So for now, just put the Siren of the Sea out there and then use her helical crystals. We can use Hornbreak here and just straight up kill that guy. Then we can use helical crystals. We can hold on to Impalate if we wish. No, we want to save as much damage as possible. This guy gave us Ember Drain, which really stinks. So we want to freeze this Mollusk Mage for sure. Alright. That turn was handled quite well. We can put a Mollusk Mage out there. Then we want to use Hornbreak. Take care of that guy. Then we can use Impalate and take care of that guy. We'll put a Mollusk Mage up there. And we're gonna give him some beef. We get ourselves a helical crystal back. That is an extra incant for our Siren. We're gonna put an imp down as a way to use Imp Orton work. That pause was intentional. And then we are going to preserve the Crypt Builder. All right. Now we can sacrifice this imp. Give ourselves some more helical crystals. Put another imp down. And now, we give ourselves the victory. Ice Storm is a really good damage unit, especially if you boost the magic power. That's 55 damage spread out. Ooh. Piercing. Deal 100 damage to friendly and enemy units. We could use that. Because our third floor is relatively empty, we can put a mollusk up there as a sort of a sacrificial lamb if we wanted to, but whatever. If we were to remove 2 cards in this situation, we would probably remove a Mollusk Mage. And probably just cancel out. Use that opportunity to buy some trinkets or upgrade our magic. On the other hand, if we're going to duplicate a card, excuse me, we'd probably duplicate another Helical Crystals. Or Helical Crystallis. I think that's the play. Let's check out the trinkets first. Summon abilities trigger an additional time. That's really only useful for the imps. +3 magic power all around. I will purchase that. Before we purge a card, upgrade a unit with Endless. When this unit dies, return to the top of your deck. The top of your dick. I think we'll purge a Mollusk Mage. Actually, I think upgrading our units is the better play. We're gonna get rid of the Horned Warrior. And then we're gonna go with Seraph the Patient. The Seraph attacks every turn, applies melee weakness to your front unit, and gains attack on Rally and Incant. He gains strength with every move we make, so the longer we take to kill him, the worse it gets. We'll do that. Then we'll use Helical Crystallis. Whenever we attack Seraph, we want to hit him with higher damage things. Because every time we play something, he gets more attack. So we want to do big hits. Which means imps aren't really in the question right now. We do just kind of have to get our units out there somehow. So that's gotta happen. Right here, we can solve this. Put down Siren of the Sea. We can use Inferno if we want. I'll tell you what, we're gonna preserve Inferno for when the Seraph moves to the top floor. And to take care of this floor, we'll put down a Molting Imp. Now we have our Horned Warrior out there. Use Hornbreaker to take care of that. Let's use Important Work. Just one off. Our Mollusk Mages are coming up. We don't want to play an Imp. We'll put an Imp up here as a sacrificial lamb. Alright, he has moved up there. We actually can't use Inferno because it takes too much damage, or too much, energy. We can't afford to be picky about pyre health in this situation. What we can do... Man, this stinks. Alright. We actually do want to save. We'll put another Queen's Impling down. That's all we really can do. Our Horned Warrior is going to go down. $38 times 2, that's 76. This deals 78. Our Horned Warrior has gone down, which means we can just go Mollusk Mage mode. There's Titan's Tooth, Helical Crystals. Helical crystals once more. And then Welder Helper should let this person live. Maybe? He's doing 46. He shouldn't die. I guess he's doing double damage for some reason. Keep casting spells right here, man. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Alright, this is the final wave. Alright. So this deals 76, this deals 78. This may be it for us. That's gonna do it. We just got to therapy the patient too. That was an incredibly close one. Apply Spell Weakness 2 to enemy units when they enter the floor below the pyre room. We got Soul Guard the Martyr. So we've unlocked the Exile Champion for the Stygian Guard. And we also unlocked the Umbra. Let's go ahead and check out these new clans. Foregone Power. Apply Frostbite 6 to the front enemy unit. Discard a card at random. Interesting. Commune with the ancient Umbra Shroud. The original residents of Hell mine the Crucible for precious materials to help in the fight against Seraph. Interesting. Well, next time on Monster Hunter, we are going to try out an Umbra Stygian Guard to keep things new and fresh. See you guys then.